some Gitas, huh? Do we have some? All right, welcome everybody to our Sunday program. All devotees and guests. This is our third installment of our Sunday program. Thank you all for joining. So today we will be reading from the Bhagavad-gita, as it is, chapter 1, verse number 3. Om Jnanatirmirandasya Dhananjana Salakaya Chachuru Nilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutha Patakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shra Shri Rupam Sagrajatham Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sabhetam Sabadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanditam Shta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tatat Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavani Pashyatha Nishatarine Mukkam Karoti Vachanam Pangulang Hayate Yum Yakripat Mahabande Shiguru Niratharanam. Hare Krishna. What is your name? Bhakti? Your name is Bhakti? Wow, Bhakti is in the building. Hare Krishna. You're a devotee already, huh? No. You're a devotee already, huh? You're a devotee? Yes. Yeah, let's continue.
Yes, but I haven't taken Diksha.
Okay. Parents are devotees. Thank you for coming. So the prayers we were chanting, you know them, or I can assume. The Mangala Charana, yes. You were chanting, so you're familiar with them, yeah. Okay. The Mangala Charana prayers are to invoke auspiciousness before we speak. When we approach the Holy Scriptures, we offer respects to our spiritual master, to Charyas in the line, preceptors, Hare Krishna. And we beg them for their mercy to be able to repeat or represent these topics which have been passed down in the disciplic succession. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I see Karina, and thank you for joining us. Yeah, so we recite these prayers before we speak on the Bhagavad-gita or other holy scriptures, so we can attract the mercy of our predecessors and ask them to please bless us, so we can try to enter into these topics, which are these spiritual topics are very, very, very elevated, but they're also meant for us to move forward in our spiritual lives. So today's text, we're reading from chapter 1, Observing the Armies, text number 3. Pasya Eitan Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata Pasyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahitim Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata Pasyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata Pasyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata
Pasyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata
Pasyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata
Pasyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahitim Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Shishyena Dhimata Pasyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahitam Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Word for word. Pasya, behold. Eitam, this. Panduputranam, of the sons of Pandu. Acharya, O teacher. Mahatim, great. Chamum, military force. Vyudham, arranged. Drupada Putrena, by the son of Drupada. Tava, your. Shishyena, disciple. Dhimata, very intelligent. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Translation. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Purport. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice, by which he received the benediction of having a son who will be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet, as a literal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtayumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtayumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx. After having learned the art from Dronacharya, Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya's so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fight. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. Paishaitam paduputranam acharya mahatim chamum yudham drupada putrena tavashishena dhimata. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So here we're continuing. And what is happening now is Duryodhana, or this is Sanjaya speaking. Right? Sanjaya Uvacha in the previous verse. So this is Duryodhana. Oh, but this okay. He's speaking to Dronacharya. So Duryodhana, because it says right here, it starts in the beginning. Duryodhana is a great diplomat. Duryodhana is the son of Dhritarashtra, and he's you could say the commander-in-chief of the side of the Kauravas. And here we have, he's speaking to the Brahmana commander-in-chief, which is Dronacharya. So Dronacharya, he's the army's or the acharya for warfare. So he taught both of the sides. So remember we were talking about last week and the week before that how there's the Pandavas and the Kauravas. So they're one family actually, but they're divided and they're about to engage in war. And Dronacharya was like the military teacher, like the guru. He was the guru for teaching the arts of fighting to both sides. And Duryodhana is pointing out here in this purport that, or Prabhupada's pointing out in this purport that the opposite end is being arranged by Drishtayumna, who was taught also by Dronacharya. So Dronacharya, he's telling Dronacharya, don't show any mercy to them, because now they're arranging on the other side and they want to fight and they're getting ready to fight with you. Hare Krishna. Welcome, Chris. Good to see you. So they're getting ready to fight. Now, what I found interesting is we see Dronacharya, even though he knows beforehand, before teaching Drishtayumna, that he's going to be the one to cause his death. Or it says right here, he will be able to kill Dronacharya because he received the benediction of having a son. Drupada, because he performed. Drupada is the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. So he performed a sacrifice in which he received a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. So Dronacharya, when he received Drupada's son into his gurukul to teach him the military, the sciences, how to fight, he knew this boy was going to be someone who could cause his death. But we see the quality of a Brahmana. So it says here that he's a Brahmana, commander-in-chief. In the Bhagavad-gita, in the 18th chapter, the qualities of Brahmana are listed. So the verse is Samodhamas tapasocham shanti arjavam evacha jnanam vi jnanamastikyam brahma karma sabhavajam, which means peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. So now let's examine a little bit those qualities. You have peacefulness. Everyone knows what peace is, right? Do we see much of it anymore nowadays? No. But the quality of a Brahmana is he is peaceful. So Dronacharya received this news and he was unscathed. It seems like he was peaceful because he was a Brahmana, qualified Brahmana. He said, okay, I'm ready to. Another quality of the Brahmanas is they have wisdom. and knowledge. So the knowledge that's presented in the Bhagavad-gita that we see throughout is that you are not this body. Which means that as the embodied spirit passes through this body from birth, youth, old age, and disease, similarly, at the time of death, the body will pass into another body. And a sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So Dronacharya knew that sooner or later he would have to leave this body anyway. So because he had that knowledge and he had that wisdom, he wasn't disturbed. He wasn't disturbed. Another quality of the Brahmanas that's mentioned is self-control. So imagine that somebody comes in, imagine you're in a situation, somebody comes in and they tell you, this boy is going to cause your death. How would you feel? How would you feel? Okay. Not good. But Dronacharya, he accepted it. That's his duty. So another topic we see throughout the Bhagavad-gita is that everyone has a certain duty to perform. And the Bhagavad-gita, the culture in which it was presented was Varna Ashrama, so which everyone has a certain place in society, meaning everyone has a role as well. A mother acts like a mother, a son acts like a son, and so on. So the role of Dronacharya was that he was a teacher. So despite of there being this very precarious situation, he was carrying out his duty. Okay, my duty is to teach this boy, so I'm going to do it regardless of what he's meant to do or what's going to happen to me. And so he was in wisdom like that. Another quality of a Brahmana is austerity. So today's day and age, the austerity people go through usually is for trying to gratify their own senses. Like, for example, we hear people go to the gym to get nice and big and buff. It's so much hard work. I remember myself, I tried to do a little working out before, but it takes so much time, you have to get so many powders, so many different pills. You have to eat a certain way, certain diet. You have to, sign up for these expensive gym contracts and memberships. All for what? So you can take a nice picture of yourself. So when you're walking, everyone notices, hey, there's that guy with the big muscles. But it takes so much austerity. Now, in today's day and age, people are taking so much austerity for the wrong reasons. In spiritual life, austerity is taken for the purpose of purifying our existence. Like there are austerities that are given in our line, our austerities that are given is chanting Hare Krishna. That's one austerity. Because sometimes it could be a little austere to sit in one place and say the same thing over and over and over again for at least 2 hours a day. We take the vow to be an initiated devotee. Or there's the austerity of no meat eating, no intoxication, which in today's society is so prevalent. Across the street, there's a liquor store. On the corner in the bodega, last night we were saying how it was about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and we were saying it's so busy. But why are people coming around? They're going in there to get beer, and to get whatever things they want to eat, to get cigarettes, and whatever. So these are the austerities they're performing. There's no purity. So the purpose of performing austerity is to purify our existence. Then there's no gambling. The no gambling, it frees us of duplicitousness. Because, for example, I used to play poker. I don't know anybody else here played poker, but they call it the poker face, where you kind of you're acting in a certain way, but you're playing with your cards, and then you're acting in a certain way to try to deceive the person in front of you in order to win their money. And we see that gambling creates this kind of mentality. That's why we're asked to restrain from gambling. And then there's the principle of no illicit sex, which is the last one that we're asked for. It's an austerity, because today's day and age, be free is the model that most people run by, which was prevalent in the hippie age and continued, kind of is still pervading society today, where people think that real freedom is to just follow what their mind and senses tell them to do. But we engage in this austerity understanding that if we restrain ourselves from the demands of the senses, then we can become more internal. In the Bhagavad-gita, there's a really nice picture, actually, that is showing this point. Has anybody seen it? The horse and chariot? Let's see, is it in this picture? I don't think it has it in this book. They have it in the small book, right?
Yeah.
Can I see it? So this is a very nice image, which it shows symbolizing ourself in one sense, where each one of the horses, it represents one of the senses. You have the eyes, the sense of sight, the nose, sense of smell, the ears, sense of sound, the hand, touch, and the tongue, which is taste. Then you have the reins, which represents the mind. And you have the driver, which represents the intelligence. And then you have the passenger, the chariot, which represents the soul. So it's described that if we gather the right knowledge, then our intelligence will be strong. And with a strong intelligence, what does that mean? When we're situated on a level where our intelligence is strong, in the Bhagavad-gita, it gives a progression of knowledge, and it says above the mind there's the intelligence, and above the intelligence there's the soul. So where our intelligence is properly situated, especially through hearing from Bhagavad-gita, which properly situates our intelligence, then we can understand how to control the mind and senses. And we can guide the body properly. We can say, oh no, that's a ditch, I'm not going in there. Oh, there's a roadblock, let me go around that. Whereas, if we don't have the proper knowledge, then what happens? Our intelligence is weak. And then we just get controlled by the mind and senses. One thing people say nowadays and age is, I don't have any time. Well, they don't have time because they don't know where to invest their time. You know? You guys live in... Where do you live?
Inwood.
Inwood.
15 minutes.
Okay. In Inwood, how much time do you get in a day?
How much time do I have in a day?
Yeah, in Inwood.
24 hours.
24 hours? we also have 24 hours down here, bro.
Yeah.
And you're from Australia, right? Yeah? How many hours in Australia? 24 hours in Australia also. So we see that everyone has the same amount of time. So how come some are saying they have no time? It's because they don't know how to properly engage their time. So that's what the correct knowledge also gives us. It saves us so much time when we understand that there's activities that we are performing that are not conducive towards our ultimate well-being, which is the ultimate well-being is elevating our soul or elevating our consciousness. And then we can see this world in this proper place. Another quality of a Brahmana is tolerance. So imagine how much you have to tolerate to understand that here's somebody who's going to kill me, and you have to teach them day after day after day after day teaching him the intricacies of warfare, how to arrange armies, how to kill your opponent properly. Meanwhile, understanding this person is going to kill me. That's a very high level of tolerance. A great teacher in our line also is described as he's non-different than Krishna himself. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says a verse that says, Tranada pisu nichena, darore vasa hishtuna, amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Which means that one should be more tolerant than a blade of grass. More humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. So we see these trees outside. Right now is winter. It's pretty cold, right? Outside. Is the tree complaining? It's too cold over here. I need a jacket. I need a North Face. No. The tree is tolerant. In the summertime, it's hot. The tree stands there. In the spring and the fall, more or less. In the fall, it's losing all its leaves. It doesn't say a thing. It just stands there. So that's why he says tolerant like a tree. So we go through all these different seasons or different stages or different mental disturbances, unfazed. So Brahmana is tolerant. And then Mahaprabhu goes on to say, Manina Manadina, be ready to offer all respects unto others. And then in such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Honesty is another quality of a Brahmana. Today's society is mostly built on lies. We see that political figures come into power by promising many things to the people. But most of the time they don't follow through on those promises. We see that our in our workplaces that people sometimes do things which just to get ahead, not by honest means. I used to be a car salesman, and car salesmen are not known to be very honest people. So many times we had alternate days off. So you would have one customer come in and speak to you. You would spend, 2-3 hours with him, show them the car, and they would say, okay, I'm ready to, I'll come tomorrow to write the deal. So you would go to you would have a partner, because you wouldn't be there on the alternate day. You say, okay, tomorrow this person's coming in to write the deal. And they say, okay, yeah, we'll split it halfway. No worries. You'll come in the following couple of days. They say, did that person come in? No, man, they didn't even come in. Next thing you know, a couple of days later, you see the person picking up their new car. Like, man, what happened? Oh, I'm sorry. I took the full deal, my bad, man. I got you next time.
Did you do that too?
I mean, yeah, it's a cutthroat.
Don't hit the play in the game.
It's a cutthroat. So it's not honest. Not honest work. You're telling someone driving in with a car with 5,000 miles in it, hey, you should get a new car. This car, sooner or later the tires are wearing out. You should trade it in, spend another $10,000. You'll be good. I'm not telling you for my, I get almost nothing out of this. I'm doing it for your benefit, really. Oh, oh, you wanted red? Yeah, sure we have that. Okay, oh wait, we only have a black car. You know what, black's a better color anyway, Red, it won't go nice with you, Black is much better, black is much sleeker design. So, ultimately just to make $1, I would just, you would just change your approach to what best suited you. And that's what we see mostly out there. People are advertising Coca-Cola, enjoy. Those CEOs are just enjoying the money they're making off of you. Coca-Cola, you could put rusted coins into Coca-Cola and it'll take the rust off. Imagine what is that doing to our bodies. Yeah, what is that doing to our bodies? It's full of sugar, stuff that's not good for you. But they don't care.
It used to be made with cocaine in the 20s. You know?
Yeah, actually, it was a good point. He was mentioning that we were actually talking about this morning, how advertisers now, cigarettes used to be advertised in the 20s as something, oh, you smoke cigarettes and it'll cure so many ailments.
Cure your cough.
Cure your cough, it'll cure your it'll cure your cancer. You know, and then Coca-Cola, similarly, at first when they first came out of it, had cocaine in it, and the doctors would prescribe it as some health elixir.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it'll give you energy to work all day, work all night. You know, you won't even become tired. But yeah, you see, in the name of the almighty dollar, honesty goes out the window. No honesty. But Brahmanas work on this principle of honesty. Actually, it's described in the Krishna book, which is the life story of Krishna, summarized by Srila Prabhupada. He says that most of the time Brahmanas are maintained in a poverty-stricken condition, so they can be dependent on Krishna, and for the purpose of so they can approach the people in general and ask them for something, but not for the purpose of trying to get something for them, but try to give them knowledge, to give them wisdom, to give them spiritual knowledge. So Dronacharya was such a Brahmana. Tolerance, honesty, wisdom that he's imparting onto the Drishtadyumna. And then another thing that we get from studying spiritual knowledge is that we become equal in our vision. And true equality in vision is seeing that the soul is non-different in every living entity. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita, in the 5th chapter, verse number 18, he says, Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavihastani Sune Chaiva Sopakecha Pandita Samadharshina. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. So this means that when you start to develop spiritual vision, you actually start to develop real compassion. This point of no meat eating is a very important point on many levels. On one level is that this other living entity, which you're taking their life away, is actually, in one sense, your brother. If you want to look at it on that level, on the spiritual level, this is your brother. And Prabhupada, many times, he would give this example that if you have a younger brother who's disabled, will you just kill him just because he's, not as advanced as yourself? No, you wouldn't do that. You would take care of him. Another point is on seeing with equal vision is that even though we do see with equal vision, we also have to distinguish based on the external bodies, because we do have roles. For example, like if you saw a tiger, you wouldn't just embrace the tiger. You understand, okay, there's a spirit soul, but the nature of that tiger is that it's ferocious and it's a meat eater. So I'll offer my respects to the tiger from a distance. So, and in the purport here, Srila Prabhupada says, a Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between species or castes. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from a point of view of species. But these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme. For the Supreme, by his plenary portion, as Paramatma, is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. As far as the bodies are concerned, in different castes or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone, because he treats every living entity as a friend, yet maintains himself as Paramatma regardless of the circumstances of the living entity. The Lord as a Paramama is present in both the outcast and the Brahmana. Although the body of the Brahmana and that of the outcast are not the same, the bodies are material productions of different modes of material nature. So here Prabhupada is mentioning the Paramama, which is, so this is expansion of Krishna, which is situated within the heart, a very living entity. So within our heart, there's our soul, and then there's the Paramama, or is known as the super soul. And he's witnessing all of our activities. So the special feature of the Paramama is that our soul, we're conscious of our own body. But the Paramama, he's conscious of all bodies at the same time. So this is when we understand that the super soul is present within every body. Also, we honor them on that level, saying, "Wow, this God is actually present inside this body." So we honor each body, each person. We respect all living entities on that, with that vision as well. And then the unique feature of human society is that in this age, it was mentioned another quality of the Brahmana is religiousness. And these books, they're meant to bring or keep the religiousness within human society. And in this age, the prescription that has been given is Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatyayata. Which means that by chanting the holy names of the Lord, we will become liberated or come to the perfectional stage of understanding who we are, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and what is this world around us. And also by chanting the holy names in Mass, we create an environment in which God consciousness can be practiced in society. Because when we have the correct vibration, the sound vibrations going through, it trains, or it changes our mind and changes our intelligence. It brings out our natural good qualities. Then society again starts to reorganize itself properly. So that's why we do this chanting, and that's why we give out this knowledge. So that we're doing the work to re-spiritualize society, as our dear Srila Prabhupada has given us this mission to do. So I'll end here. Are there any questions regarding anything I said, or comments, or discussion? Yes, Prabhu. Your name, Prabhu?
I'm sorry?
Name?
Anuham.
Yes.
Hare
Krishna, thank you for coming.
At one point you mentioned Dharma
Yes.
being Brahmin, but would it be fair to say that to some extent he was driven by ego as well? Because at one point his friend Drupada, he had insulted Dharma, and he actually sent out his students to exact revenge upon his friend. Wouldn't that be the case? That he was, to some extent, he was driven by ego.
Right. So it's described until we're on the pure level, still we can be influenced by the lower modes. So yes, even though he was a Brahmana, still he could be influenced by the lower modes. So it's in the Bhagavad-gita, is mentioned that this is that verse, yeah. So the verse I'm thinking of is 3:27. Prakriti kriyamanani guna karmana sarvasa ahankara vimunatma kartahamiti manyate, which says that, I'll read you the word for word, or the exact translation. It says, the spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. So yes, it answers your questions where, yes, his false ego is still there, Because until we're on a pure, until we become a pure devotee, ultimately we're influenced by false ego, which ultimately our activities are being carried out by the modes of material nature. So yes, a brahmana, even though he's mostly in the mode of goodness, still there's tinges of passion and ignorance within it. So, yeah, like you say, in that situation, then some passion, some ignorance could have overcame him, and then he acted in that way, or the modes of material nature acted in that way to make him go send Arjuna out to fight. Yes, Cruz.
So it says here that King Drupada performed a great sacrifice. So this is like two parts of the question.
Okay.
Performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya.
Yes.
Right, so first part of the question is, what was the sacrifice that King Drupada performed? And the second part was it necessary for Drupada to perform this sacrifice so that his son would have this benediction to kill Dronacharya?
I don't know exactly the sacrifice that was performed. I don't know if Vishnu Chitta maybe knows.
Yeah.
And then the second part of the question, you're saying, was it necessary for him to perform this sacrifice?
The son, benedicted with such a destiny of fate.
Well, we see again and again that the brahmanas, the kshatriyas, they work by quality of they're pious. They're pious kings. So when they want to accomplish something, they approach higher authorities. They approach the demigods. They approach Vishnu. It's in the Bhagavatam. We see this also with the story of Vitrasura, where they approached to I'm forgetting the story now. It was Vitrasura, right? But Twasta was his father.
Yeah, Twasta was his brother. Right? Twasta was a brother who was killed
by Indra. His father performed the sacrifice. Yes. So to get somebody who would kill Indra. So they have this dependence on the Supreme Lord, and ultimately they approach the Lord. This is some material desire, but they approach the Lord to try to fulfill that desire, and that would be my response to that. But you're saying, was it necessary? Couldn't he have done it himself? Maybe your thought is.
It's necessary, like to kill him.
No, that's the thing.
It's part of that.
Kshatriyas, that this is what we learn from these texts. Is you see the history and the nature of different people. It's not that necessarily the lessons are given so that one does also not act in that way. But Kshatriyas are driven by the mode of passion. So kings, automatically, that means they have enemies, and it's everything to them to defeat their enemy. It's like you've seen kings who practically during their whole rule have just gone on war all the time. And actually we see that even today. We see that today. It's like several countries, there's an estimation recently that 60 countries are currently at war right now in the world. In some countries the war has been going on. It's like in Afghanistan and Iraq, it's just unendless. This is no end in sight. The war is just going on. So this is the nature of kings. The story of the Drupada, I have to summarize real quick, is that Drupada and Dronacharya were fellow students at school, at Gurukul, traditional Vedic school. So they were classmates. And what happened is Dronacharya is a Brahmana. His profession is that of a teacher, whereas Drupada, his profession is that of a king. So later Dronacharya in his life faced difficulty, and because as a Brahmana, he went and approached this king as a teacher, he went and approached his friend Drupada, saying that, can you help me? I'm in poverty. Can you help me? But Drupada was, at that point, he was like, because Dronacharya looked like a beggar. And he thought, I'm such a big king, and who are you? He acted as if he didn't even know Dronacharya. Drona was insulted by that. And so what happens is he trains up. So later, the Pandavas, they learned military arts from Dronacharya. And it is said that at the end of learning, at the end of learning, you have to give a gift to the Guru. So they approached the Guru and they asked them, so how can I give you my Guru Dakshina, my gift for teaching, for having learned from you? So Dronacharya said, you use your military arts and bring that king Drupada and make him fall at my feet. So Arjuna goes and arrests Drupada and he throws him on Dronacharya's feet. And Dronacharya says, well, as a Brahmana, I'm a teacher, so I'm supposed to teach you. You're a king, you're too puffed up, you shouldn't be like this. So, now you've learned your lesson. I don't need anything from you. Now I'm well situated. You may go back and rule your kingdom. So, he's a king. He got hurt big time. So then he performed the sacrifice to obtain a son who would kill Dronacharya. So this is all the nature of this material world, is that it's how the nature is, that when we read all this, we understand that as a devotee, you're not supposed to engage in these political intrigues. But the whole world is full of it in your office. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I think we
end here. Yeah. We can have more discussion.
We'll have more discussion.
Yeah.
We're going to have Prasad now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Loosen it. Yeah. Why are you telling them?
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki, Gaura Premanandi, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha.